All right, we'll get started. Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing today? Good. All right. Thank you for coming out on a day that might rain or might not. We really don't know what to expect. Before we get too far into the meeting, let's start off with our lunch count. Who wants to go to lunch? I'll start. 1. Just count off. Starting up here. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. Are we doing lunch? We're doing lunch. 8. 9. 10. Got me. 11. Nope. No. 12 as far as we got. Maybe make it 15 just to be on the safe side. Where do we want to go? Probably should have figured that out before we asked people if they wanted to go. Because now you're stuck. Anybody got a preference? Some of you have been here before, kind of known places in the area. There's Applebee's, Noodles, Pie, Mexican place who changes their name from time to time. I'm not sure what it is right now. Used to be Dos Amigos. Still is? All right. Anybody got a preference? Amigos. Dos Amigos. All right. Dos Amigos it is. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Gail. Thank you. Yeah. Before we dive into the agenda, I just want to take a moment and introduce everybody to Tom Rauchka. Tom is our new network specialist, and I know some of you have had the pleasure of working with him already. Tom started with us on July 8th, and he's been doing a bang-up job for us. Before coming to SELCO, Tom was at Custom Iron in Zumbrota, where he served as systems administrator, doing a wide range of IT tasks and responsibilities. He has a bachelor's degree in information technology from the Minnesota School of Business with an emphasis in network security. So we are very excited to have him, and if you have not had a chance to meet him, you probably will soon. So welcome, Tom. All right. And with that, Tyler is going to talk to us about Red Wing High School. Go in.
Okay, good morning. So, as you know, SELCO habitually has a number of grants going on that we work through, most of them LSTA, Library Service and Technology Acts. One of the ones that we got for fiscal year 2014, or was it 2013? I don't remember. 13. They numbered them very oddly. Was to bring on the Red Wing High School as an online library to the region. So that grant started on July 1st. And we have been working over the last, well, so 2.5 now, months to get things up and running. We exported their records and all that and have gone through the whole process to create circulation rules and all that to bring on a new school library into the region for Red Wing High School. They contacted us about this. Their media specialist, Meg Lahammer, is very enthusiastic about being part of the system. For those of you out there who know they haven't actually gone live yet, that is going to be tomorrow when they go live. So today is their last day before they have to start doing their pull lists and all that. But the main project behind this has been Michael Scott and Cheryl Hill. Michael is the sales person and Cheryl is our ILS manager, so she's been doing all the intense work of getting everything set up, while our cataloging team has been going through and updating their records to make them conform to state, national, international standards. So Meg, unfortunately, was unable to be here today, but I did get her to send me a selfie. So she'll let me put that in the slideshow. She's the media director for the high school. It's actually, what is it called? It's the IMC. Instructional Media Center is theirs. So they actually have a lot of patrons. 1,164 of them in the system currently. Gave me the opportunity to learn how to import patrons. That was interesting. And they also have over 8,000 items. The Horizon code is RWSHS, and the delivery code is RW-S. So pretty standard on all of that for just their code. They're really looking forward to all of this. And, well, basically that's all I have to say. I would just like to welcome them to the region, even if they're not actually at this meeting right now. We're looking forward to them coming online tomorrow. Okay. Now, the next one is also me. How convenient is that? Okay. So, a lot of you know Enterprise because Cheryl and I presented on it God knows how many times over the last year and a half. And one of the big reasons that we chose Enterprise was because it came along with a product called the ERC, the Electronic Resource Center. Now, this product is something that ties in the database with our ebook collection through Overdrive, and hopefully will be able to be used with other ebook vendors as we go along, particularly with one of our other LCA projects, the School eBook Project. But we've been holding off on this one as there have been several reasons up to this point. Mainly, it wasn't quite ready for a Horizon consortium to get up and running. But with an update that we did last month, we have all the information and all our products are up to date to the point where everything works as it should have worked when we initially got Enterprise up and running. So we enabled the ERC when we got that update going, mainly because once we got the update, there was no real choice of parts that started functioning automatically. So before the ERC, there are several steps and issues that we get in ebooks. First of all is processing the records. I put in an ebook order for Overdrive ebooks, generally on a Friday, and it could take them up to a couple weeks. They're usually better getting it to us mid-next week before they actually send the MARC records along to us, which is something we subscribe to. And then Becky would have to go through, change some of the formatting around the MARC records to make them conform to our standards. And then, after Enterprise went live, we also had to go through an additional process of creating item records for all of the ebooks because, unlike Opera Browser, we couldn't do the nightly load to generate fake items. We had to have actual items in the database to have them list for your locations. So with that process, we had, 500,000 item records artificially created just for the ebook ones, so they would show up at all of your locations when searching Enterprise for site-specific searching. And then after that, once they were actually in the catalog, patrons would go into Enterprise or Opera Browser back in the day. And once you found the ebook record, you had to click on the link to go to the Overdrive catalog, and then hopefully it actually took you to the item. Pretty good about that most of the time, but again, it's another step to change over and go to the other catalog. You might have to log in at that point if you'd already logged into SELCO one because that login didn't transfer, and that sort of thing, which also led to having two My Accounts. You had your one for the ILS, Horizon, with your actual physical books, DVDs, etc., and you had the one for Overdrive with your ebooks and your e-audiobooks. Now that the ERC is up and running, records are directly imported. It happens within 24 hours now, so even though I put in the order, it tends to be about Friday afternoon, they're in there Saturday in the Enterprise catalog rather than just in the Overdrive one. So we get a much faster processing speed on that. There are direct links to the catalogs to download and preview the materials as long as you're signed in to Enterprise, and I'll show you that in a little bit. And there's also the combined accounts. I'll show you that right now. That's not me. No. I said no.
You mean you don't have to do the checkouts for one of my kids?
Not unless I have ebooks checked out.
No.
So you'll see in here there's already some changes you can see on the summary screen. There is over here in the little summary box, or whatever it's called, they had checkouts for the digital and the library. You can see that I am pretty much an electronic patron at this point. I only have an electronic book checked out. And same with requests. I have a request for an ebook, but no print requests out at the moment. So yeah, can you tell them the ebook version? And then under the checkouts, it loads automatically to the library checkouts, the Horizon ILS ones. But you see here in this accordion, you can also drop down and see the digital ones, what we have checked out. And don't judge me too harshly. I'm rereading books that I have fond memories of. And same with requests. It defaults to the ones that are in Horizon. But up here in the accordion, there's also the one for the digital checkouts. And at this point, you can also cancel the requests that you have placed in Overdrive. Fines, you don't have to worry about because you can't get fines in ebooks. I love that. Okay, so that's how there's combined my accounts now in Enterprise. When you're in Overdrive, obviously, it's still just going to be your ebook ones. You're looking at your accounts that way. And for the most part, most of these benefits of having this combined account is going to affect patrons who have devices where they sideload into them, such as just e-readers, which don't have the Wi-Fi capability to connect to the catalog. Because, at least for me, when I'm using my iPad to check out ebooks, it just, the program defaults to the Overdrive catalog, and I'm fine with that because I'm not looking at print books at that time. But for people who are sideloading from their computer, this is particularly useful for them. Well, and the My Account combination is really nice for me in general, too, because I have to check that all the time. Okay. No, that's not what I said. I said present. Okay, so navigation. When you're in the Enterprise catalog, you will see that the icons in here have been put in such ways. You can see these are the ebooks right here, and this is the e-audiobook. We have the book down here. Right now, it's also showing the word format right there, and it's in a different order. That's just because I haven't gotten around to changing them to match just yet. It's on my list, I promise. So this icon right here, kind of looks like the Kindle, is the ebook icon, and the one above it with the audio book sort of thing over blue is the e-audiobook icon. So those are the ones you're looking for. You'll also be able to tell the difference between these and the regular ones from the fact that the buttons over here are different. You see we have the Text to Me button on top. Then we have Preview and Place Hold. If the item were available, which it's hard for me to gauge ahead of time, which are going to be for me like this, it would say Download instead of Place Hold, as you can download directly from this catalog once you are logged in, which I still am conveniently. But since none of these are available, I'm not going to go into that right now. Okay. Other things when it comes to the Enterprise catalog and dealing with ebooks, there is the format facet, which I've already narrowed once. You see, I've already narrowed it by the ebook format, so when I use the format facet, I can just go in and narrow it down to only show me the ebooks that are available. I'm going to cancel out of this, so it comes up. So you see format right here. We have books, and then we have ebooks. Click into that, and come on, move. And I clicked the wrong thing somehow. Okay, and then you see we did that. And just a reminder for those of you searching the catalog, you can do the null search. So just go up here and hit search, and that will bring you everything. Then you can use the facet to refine it so you can see all of the ebooks at once. And these are all up to date. I've checked my order from last Friday is already in here. I love that. Oh, and here's one that's available. So, now that I have one right now, you'll see that we have the preview, which, there we go. Same as the Overdrive preview. You can just get in here. Okay, I don't want the tutorial. Get in, see the first little bit of the book, just like Overdrive. And you also have the option to download. Since I'm already logged in, it should, just give me the format option that I want for the download, and then I can check it out right here from Enterprise. I'm not going to do this because I'd have to return it from a device. So you can just see that you can do it from here. I'm not going to hit the actual blue button. Now, here's one of the limitations that we have found so far with this is that while in Overdrive, if you check something out, you have not yet downloaded it, you can return it from the Overdrive catalog While there is a link to do that in Enterprise, at the moment that part of the API isn't working as you would anticipate, so we haven't been able to figure out how to do it. And of course, once you have downloaded it, same as with Overdrive, you need to return it from whatever you're using to read it in, whether it's Adobe Digital Editions or from an actual device that has like the OMC installed. Overdrive Media Console, not on the medical center.
But if you have a question, feel free to call up.
Yeah, feel free to call them. Okay. One of the other options is enabled on your profiles. I've taken the liberty to do this. There is also the electronic format facet. This will allow you to refine the search down to what formats you can use. You'll see right here that I've already narrowed this search down by the electronic format of either Adobe EPUB or PDF. So probably not a Kindle I'm using right now. So that's already refined the searches down, so just those are showing. The number is slightly lower, not much, since most of these are available in either format. Now let me undo that and show you how I did it. So down here, you can choose the format. Say I just want Kindle format of the things, or I'm looking for a Windows Media version of the e-audiobook. There is the facet down here to come and refine that. I would never use that. I always use MP3s. But there is the facet for electronic format. And then the other one, which I particularly like in Enterprise, is there is an e-reader format facet. So you can refine it. I've refined this one to only show me ones that are available for Kindle. You see the number has dropped down from 11,000 to only 8,518 at this point, because there are a number of books that aren't available in the Kindle format. So again, this is the facet over here on the left. You see we have the e-reader one, so you can narrow it down to ones that are available to the Kobo, the Nook, web browser, and those ones right there. So those are the handy-dandy little ways to refine the search from that point. Okay. Now, that's all that I have prepared for this. So, are there any questions on what the ERC does? Anything in general about it? No? Good. I was hoping it was intuitive enough that I wouldn't be too much concerned about this. And if you need additional help on this, there is a SELCOtv episode out there that goes over the basics of the ERC and how to use it in assisting your patrons. Okay.
Tyler, I do have one question. You mentioned a limitation right now, something in the API that's not working properly.
Not working as expected, at least. It might just be that it's Overdrive it doesn't work with. It might work with other vendors.
Okay, so I was going to ask, do we know, is that a known issue? Is that a problem with our implementation? Or it just doesn't work the way we thought it would?
I'm not clear on that one right now. Oh, yes. And I'm not sure if we have any school people here. Top of my head, I'm not. But there might be, or watching this meeting later on. Okay. All right. Dick's right there. How did I miss that? Oh, hi, Brad. I didn't see you. But yes, as I mentioned, there is the LSTA eBooks for School project going on right now. The vendor for that is Mackin. Mackin is working on creating an API that will interface with your Enterprise to integrate it. But at this point, it is not up and running. Last I heard, they're predicting within, well, they said 12 months, but don't expect shorter than 12 months either. So just keep you updated on the schools. Other than that, we can always just do the roundabout way of creating all the items in Enterprise, which Becky loves so much. Okay, that's my summation of the ERC. So next is Rachel. Unless, Rhonda, do you just have a question there?
Answer. When that does become available to our schools, what's the cost going to be?
You have to ask Michael on that one.
But there will be a cost.
Okay, or Ann to answer this one.
So what we did with the Library Services and Technology Act grant is that we're buying a phased collection. And one of the advantages of going with Mackin versus Overdrive. In Overdrive, you're licensing the content. You leave Overdrive, you leave the content, you walk away from everything. Mackin, we're actually licensing, buying the titles. So if we discontinue the relationship with Mackin, the titles still belong and are owned by SELCO and would be available to the users. So the proposals that will be going out to the school districts in the region, because this is a school collection, will be with the idea that something that is hopefully affordable, but also sustainable in the sense that we have to have a high enough amount that we can actually buy more than 2 books. But it's also understanding that you may have districts that have tablets in every single kid's hand, so you need content. So I'm trying to work with some numbers as to trying to get it high enough that it is actually, that we have enough content to make it a meaningful curriculum tool, and low enough that none of your superintendents goes in sticker shock and go, oh my goodness, we can't afford that. So, Amy and I are still trying to crunch the numbers.
And then will they be able to get like 25 copies at a time?
For the initial SELCO purchase, we are buying single-use titles. And I know that when we did the big retreat, it was sort of vacillated between quantity of resources and multiple-use titles. The multiple-use titles had all kinds of legal restrictions, and we could not promise that we could own them for forever. So for what we're buying. So what we're hoping, again, is this amount that's low enough not to be sticker shock and high enough to actually have enough quantity to buy, that we will either start buying multiple-use titles, or that we will buy multiple copies of single-use titles that you have sufficient. And we're working with Mackin to see how those of you who already have Mackin accounts can do some blending. Because they really are looking, unlike Overdrive, which really silo-based. You have an account and you have an account and you're good buddies, and no matter what you do, you cannot touch each other's stuff. And you can't ever agree to share each other's stuff. Mackin is much more, understands that, you know, there's regions and basketball teams and consolidated districts and teachers shared between districts. So they're looking at it much more organic, that they will, within whatever is their restrictions coming from the publishers, I mean, they're not going to break their own contracts and invalidate things. But where possible, they want to be able to allow a school district to say, yeah, I'm not using this butterfly book this month, somebody else can do that. So we're still working on this. So it's new to Mackin and it's new to us. So we're hoping to have something ready to share. I think Michael's got a letter drafted to go out to the superintendent within the next week or so. And we will obviously share that with all the school media staff as well.
So one more refined question.
Okay.
Would you loan it out to a consortium schools, or does it have to be individual?
No, it's whomever decides to buy it. So in the case of your 5 schools, that's the beauty of working with Mackin. They don't care who you are.
Right.
So,
and here we are.
I will tell you there's a per pupil component. Okay. So if you decide that you're only going to buy, you're going to pay for the Adams kids and not the Leroy kids, well, then, you know, legally we have to work with that. But, you know, I'm trying to make this as flexible as possible so that you are a school district, PM, and you only want the high school kids, that's great. If you want to do the whole district, the collection does have K-12, K through 12 titles in about one-third, one-third, one-third. So, and the people who are on the committee, I don't know that I see, they did come there. Mackin did a big list, bigger than we could afford, and the list has been sent out to project specialists because here as Michael is, He hasn't ordered children's materials like ever. And so we just sent a list of suggested titles, about 1,800 of them, out to subject specialists to say, are we on the right track? Now, Mackin does have degree librarians on staff, so we hope that the list started with some semblance of meaningful content. But, you know, people in the field are the people who actually know what the 6th grade teacher is or isn't going to be interested. It's moving along. Yep. Fingers crossed. Okay, so I actually almost got us like back on time. Thank you. Okay,
Great. I'm sparing you all from another PowerPoint. Yeah, exactly. So that means I've got to go to the web page. I'm going to be talking about 23 mobile things, giving you a little bit of a recap, and then also telling you a little bit about what's coming with 23 mobile things. I'm also going to be putting together a SELCO Behind the Screen SELCOtv episode later on today on this, so it's going out this week, and there will be a accompanying blog post, so you guys will all be able to see the content I'll be talking about here. 23 mobile things ran from January 15th to July 15th of this year, and we had people from all around the state participating. In SELCO, in the SELS region, since it's a multi-type project, we had 86 participants, 50 from schools, 50 from public, 20 from schools, 9 academic, and 7 from SELCO and SELS. And the 7 of us from SELCO were also the cheerleaders or coaches for this round, as you guys probably said, hey, continue, continue. This is awesome, guys. Keep it up. I'm happy to say that Alice Henderson from Plainview was the very first badge 5 earner in the state. She rocked it. And Alan McCauley from Buckham Memorial was our very first finisher here at SELCO. Yay, go us! In all, we had 28 people who completed the project, and 18 of those are from public libraries, 6 from schools. We had 1 academic librarian, and then 4 of us here at SELCO SELS finished it. And you can see the list here if you are interested. So yeah, we had a really good, I thought that was, you know, about a quarter of everyone who got it finished who got started with it. So that was pretty awesome. And now for those of you who didn't have a chance to either take it on or didn't have a chance to finish it, they're bringing it back this fall. Mid-October, we're not sure the exact date yet. We'll be getting started again with 23 mobile things. The multi-type people are MetroNet, who's kind of overseeing this whole project, is going to be tweaking some of the things, maybe some of the apps that didn't go over so well, or just some language for the training portion that didn't work as well as they expected it to. But all the things will stay the same thing. So we had the note-taking, there'll still be note-taking tasks, but it might be a different app or two. And for those of you who got started but didn't have a chance to finish, you can start where you ended for the last round. So you're not starting from scratch, you're just starting from wherever you were. So if you finish 15, there's only 8 left, so you can do it. I promise. As I mentioned, some of the things will be slightly different. One of the other things that we hope here at the SELS region will be slightly different is that we'll get people who completed it in the first round to be our cheerleaders and coaches for the second round. So if you finished it and are interested, let us know. We'd love you if you do that for us. No, we love you anyway, but yeah. And we will be sending out emails to the people who did complete things to see who might be interested as well. So keep an eye out for that in your email boxes. We also got some feedback that some people did not have any mobile devices that they could use in the first round. And SELCO here does have some loaner devices that we are willing to check out on a first-come, first-served basis. So if that happens to be you and you really want to try this out on an iPad, we have a couple iPads that might be able to go out. We also have some Android, and I think we have even a Windows device. So there are ways of getting this material if you are interested, but just don't have it yet, either in your library or personally. And that's pretty much all I have, because 23 mobile things, while they're very exciting, there's not a whole lot to talk about right now, because they're not going on right now. So does anyone have any questions for me? Yes, Donovan.
Are they going to be the same?
The prizes are going to be the same. Everyone got a stylus and a little wipe for their device, so that had that logo on it. I think we're keeping the styluses. They didn't work very good, so we'll see. I know we talked about
The cloth is
the cloth is awesome. Just scratch your surface. I'm doing it with my glasses. That's great. Are there any other questions? You guys want a short meeting today?
Hey, Ray.
Oh, yeah.
I have a question. I didn't participate, but I was wondering for those people here that did they find it useful?
Kathy's asking if we found these things useful. I personally thought about half of it was really valid, especially for a work environment. And some of them were things like Vine, which is the 8-second video, or a 6-second video that I personally would never use in my personal or my life as a librarian. But I'm sure like some YA people might find that really, really useful for their teams or other projects. How about the other folks who finished? Any other comments?
There are a couple things I like. I can't think of what the product is right now, but you can set up like for book discussions and stuff. I used it for an all user and outwardly set up if you put websites into it, you can take notes and all that stuff. The other thing was a lot of the stuff that you had to subscribe to get started, you can actually get out of. So I was really excited. You could totally close out your account and disappear off of there, because that was my biggest fear, is me having all these usernames and passwords out there for all these things and then never using them again. And a lot of them could just totally close out the things by my end. That was just not it. So that's been interesting.
Of all the apps I tried, I only ended up keeping a handful of them, but I think there was some real value to it for when I'm talking to other people. I know several of the apps that I didn't keep, I ended up telling my wife about or other people, and they are using them. If you are willing to engage with patrons on your reference desk about apps and things like that, I think there's a lot of good stuff there to be aware of, even if it's not necessarily useful for your library environment. It's just kind of nice to know if someone comes in and wants to know about local apps for this part of the state. There's a whole step on that, or a thing, I should say. So that's kind of useful, I think.
Any other comments? I saw Tyler had his hand up as well.
Yeah. I just want to say, perhaps before we move on, we should have anyone who was here who finished should stand up, they run a lot.
Oh, yeah, you're in the shot. Anyone who finished? Am I going to be, oh, come on, I know there's people on. So, yeah, you guys are going to get emails from me later. Or from Greg or Michael. One of us will see you.
Oh, that's diabolical.
So yes, thank you all for participating. We hope to see everyone participating this next round because it's fun and it's an excuse to try things that we might not try otherwise. So that's all I have for 23 things. And I'm going to guess that this is our agenda.